I think step one of any kind of sales process, and I'm going to touch on these first 2 points quite short, and then we're going to go in depth in step three, is really just knowing your stuff. And I put a post up yesterday from the podcast that I did with Mark actually, where he spoke about just being good as a trainer. And really that is the Clean Health ethos. If I go back to when we started our business, our whole concept of learn, evolve, grow, right? Our whole concept of wanting to serve our clients to get results. That's what's really built up our brand. And I think, you guys are on the right path right now in relation to all that. A lot of you guys have done a shit ton of education and, kind of really focusing on becoming that subject matter expert in your field. I think Lane Norton is a perfect example of someone that has become a subject matter expert when it comes to nutrition. He's gotten to within, the top 0.5% globally in the field. And because of that, he's built up such a reputation and expertise. But I think, before going down that path, a lot of it really comes back to who do you want to serve, right? Who is your niche? Who is your demographic? Who is the type of clients that you're more passionate about working with? I think, Maria was just at the World Championships where you've got a lot of comp prep coaches, right? I know that Jason Tenkett, one of our master coaches, did a class last week with you guys. He, like myself, really built out his whole brand around comp prep. Now, mind you, he still does a lot of Gen Pop through his gyms, but when it comes to online coaching, literally his entire online coaching business is comp prep. So again, really getting clear on what you are passionate about, what type of clients you want to work with. For me, I kind of fell into comp prep initially, with my background more in SNC. I enjoyed working with athletes. And at the time I was working with a lot of adolescent athletes. And then I kind of shifted my focus to comp prep because I started dating a girl that was competing. She was actually a client that we dated. And then long story short, ended up prepping her, and she won the national and Australasian championships in fitness model. This is going back 13, 14 years. But I applied those principles that I learned from strength and conditioning. So I think getting real clear on who you want to serve, right? What demographic you want to serve, and then basically going and acquiring the skills that are needed to work with that demographic. All right, that's a big one. Going and acquiring the skills that are needed to work with that demographic, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is set massive intentions. And so, this particular part there, honestly, this is the cornerstone of my entire life. We're here right now at Clean Health because I sat here, I've sat here at some point in my life and kind of visualized this process and kind of executed on habits to bring it into reality. Comment in the chat, guys. Does anyone here write down their goals or their intentions? Does anyone sit down and kind of ever, in a place of quietness and visualize their future? Does anyone do that? All right. Has anyone here actually watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary on Netflix recently? Hands up if you watched that. Hands up if you found it inspiring, right? What was one theme that Arnie talks about the entire documentary? Visualize, I visualize, I visualize, I visualize. Every single thing Arnold Schwarzenegger has achieved in his life, he saw it in his mind before it became a reality, right? So he saw it in his mind before it became a reality. So I've found for me, when it comes to setting intentions, and you guys would have heard me talk about this before, the difference between an intention and a goal to me is something that I'm chasing towards, right? Now, by the very definition, if I'm chasing towards something, I'm putting the energy or the mindset out that I'm lacking something, therefore I need to chase towards it. So I'm approaching it as though I am not complete if I don't reach it, right? So from a place of scarcity. When I look at it from an intention perspective, an intention is something that basically, from my standpoint, I've already visualized it, I've already seen it, I already know that it's happening. As far as I'm concerned, it's already fucking happened. And I can't tell you how many times in my life I have seen my visualizations come into reality.